Over the past several years, radical transgender activists have done everything in their power to try to cancel Dave Chappelle. And unfortunately for them, they have absolutely no power. They try to go to Netflix and say, drop his specials, drop his shows. They try to get his shows canceled at different venues all around the country. And none of it worked. Dave Chappelle continued to double down on the jokes he was telling because that's what you should be doing. If some group of freaks is out there saying, you really can't joke about something like that, a good comedian is probably going to double down, and that's exactly what he's done once again in his newest Netflix special, and already the woke freaks cannot handle it. Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer proves he's obsessed with trans people. Dave Chappelle takes aim at the transgender community once more in new Netflix special, The Dreamer. Dave Chappelle's obsession with mocking trans people continues in new Netflix special, The Dreamer. Quote, I love punching down. It's weird. You don't see a bunch of these headlines about Dave Chappelle targets disabled people. Dave Chappelle targets white liberals in new stand-up special. Those are also jokes he made throughout the entire thing. It always has to be about this one little group that you can't say anything about, as Dave Chappelle has made it very well known time and time again. The crazy thing about all of it is Dave Chappelle's not transphobic. In fact, he had a very good friend who was a trans person and ended up killing themselves because of the actions of these radical groups of degenerate activist freaks. So even though this special isn't focused on transgender people or the LGBTQ community, there were a couple jokes thrown in, and already people are freaking out about it. But honestly, we got to watch this. The one joke that is really coming out there is a story he tells about Jim Carrey, about how Norm Macdonald actually brought him on set of a movie that Jim Carrey was doing where he was portraying Andy Kaufman. And what Dave didn't know when he walked up on set was that Jim Carrey was going all out. He was pretending like he was Andy Kaufman 24 hours a day. And Dave didn't necessarily know that going on set.
When they said cut, this nigga was still Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. I screamed, Jim Carrey. And everyone said, no. Call him Andy. And then he came over and he was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting like Andy Kaufman. Just like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, hello, Andy? Now, in hindsight, how fucking lucky am I that I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. But as it was happening, I was very disappointed because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey. And I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
All right, so Dave Chappelle's first joke is this long story about Jim Carrey pretending to be somebody else and making an allegory about trans people. Dave Chappelle has targeted virtually everyone in his career as a comedian. He's made fun of a lot of different sides of things. He's made fun of the right, made fun of the left, made fun of white people, black people, Hispanic people, Jewish people, gay people, straight people, everybody. It's what great comedians do over the course of their career. And when you have these people out there that are trying to cancel him, remember the march they did on Netflix? How fucking pathetic was that? These activist freak losers have absolutely no power, and they embarrass themselves completely. And I've had a lot of problems with Netflix over the years, certainly, but they stood by Dave Chappelle. They even fired one of the trans activists that tried to leak out some information internally about the things that were going on with Dave Chappelle, with either the contract or the numbers or something. They fired that bitch. And now Dave Chappelle comes back out swinging. Now, he did say that he thinks he's kind of done. He thinks he's done with the trans jokes, and he's almost over that era. He's moving on to something else. He specifically said that he's going to transition to joking about handicap because they're not as organized as the gays, and I love punching down. He had a couple more little things throughout. I encourage everybody to go check it out if you think you like it so far. It's getting fairly good reviews, 84%. Only 100 people have rated it so far. It just came out yesterday, so it's not like it's been out for very long. But once again, woke media, woke activist freaks are upset that Dave Chappelle would dare tell a joke about the sacred group of people known as transgenders. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.